You didn't miss anything. My mic was muted, so nobody missed anything. I was just saying, hey, we're almost into April. The year is flying by, and welcome to Norcal Mondays. Tonight we're doing upcoming events for April, and I'm messing around. It's a little pixelated in the background, I know. Kind of messing around with some new features on the streaming platform, so bear with me. I actually have some stuff on order for a better backdrop. So yeah, some stuff in the works. But tonight we are going to do upcoming events. We are also doing an open mic night. So far in the studio, in the background, we have two guests, Dan Rivera, and we have Alex Shee from, one's going to represent Sonoma Rock, 100cc Masters, and the other one's going to talk about Prairie City Masters. So we'll bring them on in a few minutes. But yeah, let's get right to it. So we have the new backdrop going on. Like I said, I ordered some stuff. So the next show, hopefully, it looks a lot tighter and cleaner. But just trying to make the show better and better every week, with the exception of my hair. I'm not going to lie. I have pork butt sitting on the grill. I was running late. Dan was like, "Hey, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you." And I'm looking at my phone. I go, "I know, but I'm waiting on my pork butts." So they're gonna have to wait till after the show. So with that being said, let's see here. Let's bring up our race calendar for April. This is the April race calendar. You can find this on norcalcarters.com and click on the calendar or events links, and it'll take you right to it. So you'll see a bunch of new stuff added in. I'll get to that later. But this weekend, NCK Road Racing, Thunder Hill East. So NCK Road Racing, they're a supporter of the show, nckroadracing.com. They have their first race of the 2023 season, and they're going to Thunder Hill East to tackle the 3-mile course. Also this weekend, we have Prairie City two-stroke weekend. So Prairie City two-stroke weekend, they are also a supporter of NorCal Carters, and their site is pckarting.com, pckarting.com, and they have Prairie City two-stroke weekend coming up. Also this weekend, we have Northern Nevada Kart Club. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not. I have not reached out to them this week to see if their schedule is still intact. I know they've been dealing with weather. So if somebody from NNKC is listening, and also you guys want more exposure for your club, let me know. But let's get all the calendars online this year and make sure they're accurate. So right now we have NNKC racing on Sunday the 2nd. Let's see. Next week, April 7th and 8th. So you're going to notice on the calendar right here, these are Fridays. So the 7th is a Friday. So Rock Sonoma, we will be doing the live stream once again, streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. And go to Rock Sonoma on YouTube, hit like and subscribe so you're notified when we go live. Jason was working hard last week, putting up all the main events from last event. We're not really sure. We had some weather issues at the track. It was raining, but that wasn't the issue. But some reason our network was going in and out. So instead of doing the live, we recorded everything and then uploaded them afterwards. So, but go again, YouTube, Rock Sonoma, hit like and subscribe so you're notified. That's taking place next Friday and Saturday. And if you're racing Challenge of the Americas at Rock Sonoma, that would be a great event to get a warm-up for that event coming up the following week. Again, Rock Challenge of the Americas, they kick off April 14th, 15th, and 16th at Sonoma, and that will wrap up their 3-race West Coast series. So Rock Sonoma, they're a supporter of NorCal Carters. Challenge of Americas, they've been a supporter of NorCal Carters for a couple years now as well. That's going to be a very, very busy race weekend in California. So Prairie City 4-stroke weekend is April 15th and 16th. So that's going on. Kinsman Kart Club, they're going to have a race going on. Give me 1 second here. You can also go to NorCal Carters, click on events. If you click on the event, it'll give you the information. If they're supporters of our show, of our channel, of NorCal Carters in general, then we also put the links up there so you can go right to the Rock Sonoma or any of our supporters pages. the phone number, their website, the maps, all that fun stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out there because you'll see that some of these won't have a lot of information and others have more. And that's why the clubs that have more information, websites, phone numbers, more attention in the show, they send me a check to help keep the cause alive. So speaking of checks, let's see, Prairie City 4-stroke weekend and Challenge of Americas. That's 14th to the 16th. Also, open mic night tonight. If you want to be on the show with Dan and Alex, PM me. I'll do my best to check it during the show. But I can send you the direct link to be on the show instead of just watching. So let me know. New to the calendar, IKF Norcal SKS. That is new to the calendar. That is a new series for 2023. That is run by Donald Durbin. And so they are kicking off their season on April 22nd and 23rd. So I don't want to blast right through this, but my alarms are going off and I'm wondering what happened. But Norcal IKF, their website is live. So you can go to Norcal Karters, go to our site, click on the link. It will take you to the IKF Sprint Kart series. So you can go check out all their rules and information. Let's see here. So there you go. Their site is live with the class structure, the rules, the full calendar, the tracks that they're going to. So basically all the information that you're going to need to participate in IKF Sprint Series plus an online registration. So go check that out. Let's see. So IKF, their website. I'm gonna mess this up a couple of times. So let's go on it real quick. It's going to be NorcalSKS.com. NorcalSKS.com. And the following weekend, we're going to have another busy weekend. Prairie City 2-stroke weekend at Prairie City, the 29th and the 30th of April. Blue Max, they are doing a welcome back barbecue on the 29th. And this year, Blue Max, they've signed up to support Norcal Karters. They're going to get more attention this year. So you'll see Blue Max barbecue on that Saturday, the 29th. They are also, there's a lot going on. You ready for this? They are hosting the 80cc shifter carts. They are hosting the Gold Rush Series that day. And they are doing their club race. So April 30th, Blue Max Kart Club. They have a lot going on. And I just realized my 80cc is not showing up. I'll have to write a note for that. Oh, maybe it's right there. That's why. I'll have to write a note for that to make sure that's popping up. But the 80cc shifter group, they're also on Norcal Karters. You know what? I'm not going to pause the live cast per se. But if you guys have any comments, type away in the comments. I'm going to be right back. I got to go check something real quick. And then right after that, we're going to get to Dan and Alex. But bear with me for one moment here. And I know this is very unprofessional, but something happened on my smoker, and I got to go check it out real quick. Did you turn my smoker off?
No. I turned it one click to the left.
Oh, I probably should have turned my mic off too.
Yeah.
I probably should turn my mic off too. All right, we're back. So with that being said, let's get to put your hand up. Who wants to go first? Let's see. Dan, Alex. Oh, looks like we have a new guest too, Kieran. So Dan put his hand up first. So without further ado, give me 1 second here. Dan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better now. I had a moment of panic on my barbecue. It's like,
How's the
I
butt?
know that's
How's
very
the butt doing?
unprofessional, but what's that?
How's the butt doing?
The temperature's going back up. It was supposed to be done 2 hours ago. It just stalled for 6 hours. So Dan, tell all of us who you are, where do you race, what do you do? Introduce yourself.
Cool. Before I get into that, let me say it's my first time on the show, and I wanted to say thanks to you for keeping all of NorCal up to date on what's going, and also showing up to our local Rock Sonoma races and doing a fantastic job announcing. So thank you, Jason.
I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun the past couple of years.
Excellent. Yeah. So hello, my name is Dan. I've been karting since 2007. I actually started in Southern California. Started on Rotax and transitioned to PRDs, like 125cc water cooled. Ended up moving here for a new job. Had shoulder surgeries along the way, and really was itching to get back into karting. I had a couple of folks just kind of push me in this direction. Kieran, who's on the cast here, you'll hear from him a little bit. He's a coworker of mine that poked and prodded, and I got back into it a couple of years ago. So I'm in my second season at Rock Sonoma, starting with the KA 100, which was a fantastic motor. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Sherry, Uncle Dan. So I have nieces and nephews that watch the live stream, Jason, and they enjoy the show that you put on. So that's where the Uncle Dan term comes. So, anyways, yeah, this year switching over to the VLR, going along with the new rules, and I'm looking forward to the second season. Did pretty well in the points last year. The group was a bit of like I wasn't from NorCal, so I'm new to the local group. So I'm really thankful for this little thread that we have on the side to get to know each other, and throughout last year definitely established some relationships in the paddock, and I'm looking forward to that continuing into this year. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me and a little bit about where I race.
All right. Well, I'm going to skip over Alex only because you mentioned Kieran, and I'm sure I've butchered this name. Alex, like, wait, what about
you can
me?
say Kieran,
but
yeah,
next
Kieran
up, we're going to bring Kieran, and then you can properly tell me how to say your name.
You did a pretty good job of it. Better than most Americans. It's not really a common name out here, right? So, Kieran.
Kieran, okay.
Kieran. Yeah, you pronounced it probably better than it did actually than I did. It's got an O at the end there, but yeah, Kieran. I'll take it though. A lot of people end up just calling me by my surname James because that seems like far more of a common name out here than Kieran. It confuses people.
Don't say that because then I'll do James Kieran.
I've had that my whole life.
Yeah, so tell us about yourself. Where do you race? What do you race? And then we'll have plenty of time to chat with everybody.
I'm Australian, obviously, so I moved over a couple of years ago. Someone I used to work with back in Australia, convinced me it was a childhood dream to kart, and I could never sort of afford to do it when I was young. And I got a kart and just used to really practice in Australia. Just on the way home from work, we got these cool little versions of trucks in Australia, utes, which are like El Caminos. So the kart just used to sit in the back, and then after a rough day at work, you'd stop off at the track and go do some laps. But I never really got into racing, and the kart just came over with me to the US. Everything in the garage basically shipped because we just came over in a rush, and it sat there gathering dust. And then I heard about this guy I work with that used to be into karting. named Dan, and he pretty much stonewalled me when I bugged him about karting. He wasn't interested, but I guess just like I wore my wife down eventually to maybe Dan eventually gave up and decided to give in, and we decided to go karting together. So I just had a Rotax before the 125, but obviously that scene doesn't really exist very much anymore. So we decided we'd go into the air-cooled little KA100s, and it's been brilliant. To be honest, I haven't missed the power or anything. It's been great. Maybe because we're getting older, it's a little bit easier, and I'm not quick enough to shift through all those gears like those shifter guys. So the single speeds worked pretty well. But yeah, it's all thanks to Dan that I got into it. In all honesty, it was pretty scary the first race I ever did, which was. I did a couple of races, not last year, the year before, and if it wasn't for Dan and someone pushing me, I wouldn't have been willing to make the jump and sort of go racing. So, but that's sort of how this group is. It's been pretty supportive. So Dan sort of pushed me along and got me in, and then we've got Sherry and Alex, and then there was Andre, who is taking a bit of a break for a bit, but everyone is pretty supportive. It's a really good group. Everyone's nice and friendly and helpful, and then we get out there and everyone's giving it everything. So it's been really good, and we're helping trying to build a group. So that old cart that I brought from Australia is now passed down to Alex, who's on the line.
He is on the line. He's chomping at the bit back there. He's like, I want to go.
So
but
he's on some old hardware. It was like 2013. So, but it's still kicking around and going. So it's serving him now. So that's good.
Nice. So little fun facts for our viewers and for you, since you're from Australia. Australia is our third watched destination for whatever reason.
No
I
way.
think it's because we had Derek Jones on the show a few times from Power Republic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have Australia is our number 3 destination from YouTube.
I didn't know that. I'll give you another fun fact then in return. The KA100, the KA, you know what it stands for?
Karting Australia?
Yeah, it's an Aussie engine. Yeah, the Australian scene was getting a bit ridiculous years ago with the cost of a good Yamaha 100. They were like sky high, and Karting Australia went to Miami and basically said they wanted a new air-cooled 100 go into the next generation, and the K100 was born. So yeah, not many people know that. You obviously know your stuff.
Well, is that I may have the city wrong. Was it St. George Karting? Are they from Australia or?
There is St. George Karting there. Yeah.
I met them years ago in Chicago, and they came up for a kart expo thing. But yeah,
it's cool. It's pretty big down there, and at the time I think Rotax was sort of going through a phase where there was a little bit of unevenness, and the Miami with the X30 were doing really well. It was really popular because it was out of the box. There was really good parity, so they sort of went with Miami, and the rest is history. And so it was good. We had a couple. I had a season and a bit on that, and now we've moved to the VLR, which is proven really fun. So the group is looking really strong this year. So really excited.
All right. Well, thanks for the introduction, and let's bring up. We'll bring up Alex since we passed up on him earlier. Let's see. Give me one moment here, Alex.
Hello.
Hi.
How
are you?
I'm doing well. It's funny because the 4 of us actually all pit together. So it's going to be, you'll see us, Dan, myself, Kieran, and Sherry, like in the pits together. And if it weren't for those two, I don't think we'd still be working as hard as we are and going to every single round pretty much. So it's really great. They're a really good karting family for us. I think actually the 100cc Masters in general, they've all been really, 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 really great. Obviously there's a lot of healthy competitiveness, but also we all push each other. We all come over to each other's pits and talk a little crap and have a little bit of fun. So it's really, really nice. As far as I guess my history, I used to do a lot of drifting. Myself and Sherry, we used to go drifting together, and basically this past during the pandemic, Sherry and I started going to K1 a lot. Sorry, there's a cat there. We started going to K1 a lot. Started getting better and better and better, and then decided it was time to move to outdoor karts. Actually, Andre just said, "Hey, you should come do this thing with us." So Sherry picked up a cart and started to go. And I was her mechanic last year. And basically, Kieran, in all his graciousness, gave me his cart, Blue Steel, and now I'm going to be competing with that. And it's a good cart. It's a really, really good cart, even though it's an old piece of metal.
Very cool. So we have a question coming in for Kieran, but first I'll bring all of you guys up all at once. Boom. All right, everyone, bear with me with my backdrop. I'm working on it. So this is a question for our listeners that we had a little discussion before we hit the airwaves. What is more important in karting, a good mechanic or a good husband? So answer away in the chat lines. What is more important, a good husband or a good mechanic? That's for you, Alex.
Well, to be fair, I mean, like Sherry and I are mechanic for both one another. Usually now we do, but last year I was basically her mechanic. I was also running around other pits and helping wherever I could. Isn't it one and the same? That's where you guys are all missing out. You guys don't have good husbands that are also mechanics.
So I'm jealous.
But
the fact that they're both into the same sport, I think, is the advantage, regardless of their driver or mechanic. And so,
yeah, we're not very good and we're not very fast.
What's that?
We're both not very good or very fast, but thankfully we don't have to argue budget with one another. We don't have to hide anything. You know what I mean? Like, and after a weekend like last weekend, we're like, okay, so we need to get gas. We need to get this. We kind of split up all the tasks because next weekend we got, as I was going to tell you, the Prairie City, two-stroke race. And, since we're both competing in it, we want to get all of our stuff together. So, making sure we got gas, make sure we got parts, making sure we're both ready. And it's helpful that we don't need to argue about that. Like we can just do it and we know money has to be spent. We just get it done.
So for me, a good wife, I'll switch it around a bit rather than a husband, but a good wife is more important than a good mechanic because the mechanic is irrelevant if I didn't have the good wife to even let me go. There's no point having a mechanic and I'm sitting here in my lounge room. So
yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up in the discussion. Let's see. So Kieran, our buddy Dan Tan, how is karting in Norcal compared to Australia? Geography, grids, tracks, etc.
I was pretty, as I said, I wasn't a great karter in Australia. I didn't really get into it sort of too much. I did a bit of practicing. I lived next to sort of the premier track in the state of Victoria. The big difference is, and I don't know if it's good or bad, in Australia, there is a pretty regimented license system. Like you just can't go out and buy a shifter cart and go and drive a fast car. You got to start out in the low powered classes, and even then you get a restrictor. So, I started I was in my 40s, and I had to have a restrictor on the Rotax that brought it down to 20 horsepower. And then you have to earn points by finishing races and not getting penalties. And then after so many races, you're allowed to remove the restrictor, and then you're allowed to move up classes. So it's pretty full on. And those learner classes or provisional classes, you only race with other provisional people till you're allowed around the big boys. So it's there's a lot of people say Australia's a bit of a nanny state. Australia likes to have a lot of rules. Yeah, that's my home track.
That's your home track?
Yeah, Port Melbourne there. Yeah. But yeah,
that is like 4 feet away from downtown.
It's crazy. It's one of these really, really weird that most cities, all this sort of stuff is way out of the way. This is like 10 minutes from the center of Melbourne. That's like 10, 15 minutes from the Melbourne GP track. It's a pretty cool location. I do miss, there's a lot of elevation. You don't really see it on that picture, but there's some pretty big, there's a big hill up towards that top left-hand corner, which is sort of pretty cool, actually. it'd be nice to go back there and have another go now that I think I've learnt to drive a bit better than when I left. Hopefully, I don't know. Dan can comment. I definitely spin less, but last weekend doesn't count because last weekend I got dizzy. I was spinning around so much in the wet.
You got dizzy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are troopers though, because I mean it was a nice day on Saturday, and everyone knew it was going to rain on Sunday, and the ones that race, they're just troopers. It's I love racing in the rain. I think it's so much fun. I was never good at it because I never practiced in the rain. I hated practicing in the rain.
What's nice about that weekend was everybody was like Friday and Saturday, everyone was kind of screwing around because they knew that all the setup, all of that was going to go in the trash anyway. So people were playing around on Saturday and having a good time. And then Sunday, they all just kind of went in with the same mentality, like we're just going to screw around and see how it all goes. Because at least in the Masters, it felt like no one really had it set except Georgios. He was a machine. But the rest of us were all just like screwing around behind him, trying to not get stuck.
I was really impressed by the turnout regardless, right? Under those conditions, we still had a pretty decent class. We had nine drivers. We're forecasting to have no less than like 13 for the next round. So I'm super, super excited about that. First race that Alex will be part of too.
That's right. Yeah.
So you'll see me in the back. I'll just be hanging out by myself while everybody leaves. I'm not very good, so yeah. We'll see.
I don't believe that.
Shark right there, shark.
Yeah, and another thing to say about Alex though, like he said, we joke around a bit in the pits and have a good laugh and all the rest, but there was more than one occasion last year where Dan and myself on separate occasions were like, I'm just done. It's a rough race weekend. You've bent a few things, and I think we were ready to pack up and go home. And like, I think was the one who said, no way, and put the gloves on and helped us fix the karts up and get back out there. So that was hugely appreciated. Needed that at the time. I was ready to pack my stuff up and go home, and I think that's really cool about that little group. Brilliant.
So does that go back to the importance of a mechanic?
No, it's more of all of us jumped in, right? So like Sherry, myself, Dan, and Kieran, we all kind of jumped in for each other, and it's more of the importance of having friends, good friends that are willing that just want to see each other race and have fun and have a good time. And like we were laughing when Sherry and Dan were fighting each other on track. It was like hilarious, and I think you can see right there, like there was a moment when Sherry started to catch him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is it's it's just so ridiculous.
You know what? I was hoping you'd play that clip. Dan never spins, and out of all
I just grabbed the after race.
That's brilliant.
My favorite part about that stream is that the preview picture for that race for the Master 100cc is of Dan spinning.
That's the preview picture?
He's really?
That's the preview picture on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and look, it'll be a picture of Dan spinning on track.
I spun in the same corner three times.
That's made my day.
There it is.
You know what, Dan? Consistency is key.
This is not...
3 times in the same corner.
This is not any good in winning over your
times.
Yeah, this is not helping you win over your niece, who is in the Michael Ting fan.
To be fair, Michael Ting got stuck for longer.
Yeah, he did. I don't know what happened, but he went so far off track that he was beached for a little while. So I'm sure Maurice was upset about that.
Oh, if you guys let my ADD kick in, I'll go back to last year when Michael was drifting off the track, rail sliding it.
But he's really impressive off the track. He somehow manages to like drive fast off the track and get back on it and really didn't hurt his pace.
He has some good drifting maneuvers.
Yeah, no, I've never seen anyone do that, right? Like, come on, like he doesn't miss a beat. He just keeps his foot into it and just like drifting up the dirt. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So Jason, with all the out there, we have a goal for Masters. We're gonna have more entries than senior. That's the goal for this year.
More entries in senior.
That's the goal. We're growing the family.
You know what though? Last year there was a few races. It was close.
Yeah.
I think we got a shot at it.
So that's the goal. More entries than senior.
So
I think there was a couple from 125 that came to our class. So that helped us. I think they were playing around with just a small class and decided to jump in with us. That helped us.
and Georgios made the move from senior to masters, so some people graduated up as well.
Yep.
So I mean, like, hopefully, only way we can go is up, and we'll be impressive, like, by the end of the year.
Well, you guys have a good thing going though. I mean, you have. I know Andre's been trying for. Honestly, it might be 2 years already, where he started talking to us at Sonoma about trying to get the group together, get a race group going, and he was pushing it pretty hard. Yeah, I think that was 2 years ago, because we were expecting to see him more last year at the racetrack. Yeah, so that would have been 2 years of just, one guy just like, okay, getting in people's ear, then it just grew. And then Dan's been in my ear. It's like, hey, you got to join our group. You got to join our group.
I want Jason in on it so he can see the back, the backstage, conversation, and add that to the announcing. And
it's a shame he couldn't observe you and Eric going at each other last weekend. That was the highlight. You guys slowed me down in the pits because the way you two were bickering, it was hilarious.
Jason, do you know Eric Molinati?
Oh, I do, yeah.
So Eric and I are actually we're close friends. So similar to Kieran and I getting each other, I don't know, Kieran, I don't think that was you pushing me or me pushing you. I think we needed each other to get back into it. But anyway, similar to that story, back in LA, I was karting and Eric was taking a break. He grew up karting as a kid in Florida, but he took a break from it, and me and this other gentleman got him back involved in SoCal. But he and I became friends off the track, and we used to hang out with our wives and things like that. Anyways, this last race, the rain race, I knew it would be pretty hectic. So I reached out to Eric and said, hey, could you just give me a hand? So Eric was my mechanic for this last race, but there was fireworks from the pit. He definitely liked the cart to look a certain way. And anyways, Kieran got to see that.
Oh, it was hilarious. I'm imagining it think of, I don't know, like Verstappen, like being the mechanic for Hamilton or whatever, and telling each other how to do stuff. It was great.
You should see our pits with Sherry and I arguing pretty much the whole time. I feel like that's how it is.
That's what you need, Jason. Some behind the scenes cameras in the pits. Get some video. Yeah. Reality show right there.
I did walk around on Saturday messing around with a new setup for to figure out the different YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, how each platform is working differently. So I was doing that Saturday, but it's not that I'm ignoring your guys' group. I definitely am not. I learned this years ago, like when the Facebook groups first came out, I was in every single Facebook group related to karting, related to NorCal, and it just all day long, the phones just ping, 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 ping. And I just couldn't keep the stuff straight. So now I've learned, it's like, okay, I need 1 or 2 liaisons between each group that can keep me filled in. It's like, okay, what do you guys want to talk about? I have this platform. You guys are always welcome to come on the show. But I do agree, like the talking points for the live stream. I'm working on a binder so I can actually start having more backstories and things like that to fill in the blanks.
So take a look at what we have. I sent you the link of some of the backstories, and we'll have.
Oh, right.
I just sent it to the group, like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes ago. So folks will contribute over the course of the next week. You can kind of see it. And
I did click on the spreadsheet.
Good.
Yeah, to give you some fun facts about every driver.
That's right.
And
I think that's important too, not just for your group, but for those that are watching or listening. If you have an announcer at the track, one, try to get to know him or her. Whoever the announcer is, and then just try to fill them in with little details, and also make sure the timing is right. There's many times at the track where I always look like I'm spaced out, but there's times at the track where my mind will always just be elsewhere. So kind of take that into account. If I'm running between the grid or somewhere else trying to get back to the tower, it's probably not a good time to fill me in on everything. But
Grab him when he's in the bathroom. That's when he's trapped.
yes, yes. And I only go to the bathroom like, I don't know, 20 times a day. So the Challenge of America guys actually have a little tally every time I go by.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So
Well, hopefully,
really quickly,
one of these days I won't actually be in absolute chaos between heats and rounds, that I can actually talk to someone as opposed to fixing and mechanicking stuff. One of these days, I should think about that comment you made about what's better, a good mechanic or a good
Get
wife.
yourself a
I should
husband.
try the mechanic thing. Maybe
I never said wife. I said husband.
husband.
Get yourself a husband.
I never said wife.
You know.
Let's see what do we got. Oh, we
Alex,
got a
did you have a
comment coming
Prairie
in
City
from
comment?
Steve Peugeot. We need more masters in all the groups. That is a true story. We need more karters in all the groups. I'm always trying to get us older dads to get back involved. Love seeing you guys rip it up. Well, why don't you guys kind of go around the robin, share some tips on how you're making your group so cohesive on and off the track. What are a couple of tips, and how are you guys going about that?
Well, there's a few of us. I think us three are three examples. But in that thread, I don't know. That thread for me is one way, because between the races are spaced out by a month. You may get lucky and see someone at the track, on a practice day. But the thread is like there's a little bit happening every day. Not a lot, just a little enough that you get to connect with folks between races. And then there's a few of us that try to say something roughly, once a day and keep the conversation alive, if you will. And it's not rare that someone, like, for example, today, I'm going to say his name wrong, but Georgios, I think, said, "Hey, I know someone who wants to join the thread. Hey, I know someone else who wants to join the thread." We have like this steady stream of folks who want to, even if they're not contributing to like making comments, I feel like there's a lot of people just reading it and hopefully, I don't know, enjoying it. So I think for me, it's just keeping that thread alive.
I think the other thing for me is, sorry, go on, Ed.
I was going to say, I'd like to plug Jason and say Extra Kart Parts probably sells used slicks. Yeah,
I just plugged myself.
Did you?
I do sell used slicks. I try to stay away from new on the new tires. I do sell old new tires, but anything I try to stay away from the current stuff because I do want to respect the brick and mortar kart shops that are trying to make a living, supporting customers Monday through Friday with a brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I sell a lot of used tires.
No, I don't know what else helps. Try to think what else helps with the getting the old dads out there and stuff. Look, the camaraderie is pretty good. I think it's a pretty good group. I can't remember a last time at a race where multiple of the other people in the group haven't sort of come around to say hello and see how things are going in the pits. As Dan said, like Scott's always like doing the rounds and saying hi to everyone. It's pretty good. I think it also helps that look, we're not as quick as the seniors, right? Like let's be fair. And so we've got a good class where we can be competitive. If I was to go in seniors and just be dead last, that would probably be a little bit frustrating. But I think we're all also operating on not the biggest budgets, right? So I think we generally race pretty respectfully and cleanly, and so that helps. We're definitely not in the 20-year-olds that are willing to just drive 10 tenths the whole time and potentially damage stuff. So that helps. And per Alex said, we share stuff. I know if I don't have a part or whatever, someone else will help out. So it's been a really good group. And
to that, I would say, as far as helping grow the group, a big thing that we've been doing is like I said, helping each other. So Sherry and I, we drive a lot. So we go to Blue Max, we go to Kinsman, we go to Prairie City. We have homes all over the place, and anytime we see someone else that has a kart that might look like it could compete with us, and they look just as slow as we are and just as old as we are and hurting, I'm like, hey, you should come race with us. Like, it'd be a lot of fun. And and it's kind of a little bit of a blurb to the, I don't know what I'm pointing at, but the Prairie City Kart Track thing. So there's a lot of guys that I think but either don't have a VLR or like aren't ready to like do Sonoma yet. And we love Prairie City. Prairie City is just so much fun, and Donald's just great to everybody, great to us. And so we were like, we should just do 100cc Masters there, and then anybody that has a KA or they're leftovers and they want to race when they're not at Sonoma, they should come do this. And and it's a great place. Like I always try to tell these two guys, like, I love Prairie City. Like, I love the vibe there. I love the pits, the setup, the track, the people that work there. It's just a wonderful place. And the layouts are fantastic. And it was funny because we went there the first time to see you, Jason, because you were selling stuff it was like a flea market thing that you had going on up there. And I was like, well, we should go visit Jason and go buy some parts. And then we're like, hey, are they doing rentals today? So, Sherry and I jumped in rentals. And then we did one session, and then we were like, that was fun. Hey, Donald, can we do another one? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So we did another one. And then we did another. Then we did pretty much up to the end of the day, like to closing, because we couldn't stop because it was so much fun to drive on that track. And he was stoked to have us out there. Like, and like that was just, it felt great, and that's why I really want to promote like this race for them, because I'd love to see the Masters team grow there as well. We went out there last weekend and drove. It was Sherry and I were the only two Masters, and the rest of them were seniors, and they started in front of us, right? And it felt like this buzzing pack of like angry bees that were coming to attack us every like couple laps, because they'd lap us, and just like it was frightening, So I realized we're terrible and slow, but we were driving thinking like, yeah, we're kicking ass, and then the seniors would come and just like eat us alive and then pass us and disappear in the distance, like every like 4 laps.
Yeah, but it's, in your defense, Prairie City is a very difficult track to master.
It is, and they're a lot lighter, and
they're lighter. They are going to be lighter and faster, but there's a lot of tricks to that track where it's just seat time. It's just getting out there and practicing more, and watching the seniors and how they go through all the corners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's such a fun track though.
It's on a different tire too, so like none of it. The good thing about it is it doesn't affect resources for Sonoma because it's on a different tire, right? It's you can run any engine. So if you have a spare engine, you can run like your KA, like practice motor, like you can do all these things that really won't affect you, like come race weekend. So it's nice to have that option, and it's seat time, and like you said, it's all seat time, So
seat time is king.
Well, Alex, I haven't made it out there, but at some point I will. This is the track that has a bit of a kind of the jump off, right?
Oh, it's got the jump. It's great.
We did go up there one day, remember, Dan, planning to have a go, and there was a race on, and we had to turn back.
We watched from the fence, which is, yeah.
It doesn't have to be a jump. It just depends on how you go over it. If you want
to jump it.
It's just a little bit more extreme than the old tic-tac-toe.
Yes. Yes.
Did we find a new name for tic-tac-toe, by the way, Jason? I know you were looking for that last year.
Honestly, I forgot all about that. I forgot to change the track.
We should rename all the corners and make it entirely something.
You can't do that. People were very upset that they were just modifying tic-tac-toe. I know we talked about trying to rename it, like just unofficially, and I forgot about it.
I was telling you earlier that I started off with Eric in the Orange County area, LA area. And when I came up here, I was actually not looking forward to racing at Sonoma because the old tic-tac-toe, when you're running it counterclockwise, you kind of had to jump it, and you kind of had to scratch up the chassis, which is something I hate to do. Like, I just love a pristine chassis. Like, I'll sacrifice time and not hit the curb to get around fast. Anyway,
He's
so
not joking. He's genuinely not joking. He's let me drive his car before. It's just like, just do not scratch it. Do not.
so I was really happy with the edits to the tic-tac-toe. It's flatter and you can get around without jumping a curb kind of thing. So I happen to really like the improvements they made.
Yeah, time will tell. I personally really enjoyed tic-tac-toe when I raced there. I thought it was a lot of fun. But we have seen, being that I buy and sell used crap and resell it, seat stays and seat struts. Some of the chassis, the C hangers were breaking off, and it's for the club guy that gets expensive really quick.
Are you referring to the old setup or the new one?
The old setup, yeah.
Exactly.
So time will tell by removing it. I mean, it's got to make it better as far as longevity in the chassis. And then what Steve Cameron was saying too, was he has a lot of laps out there, and he ended up injuring his ribs. And for him, he was like, "All right, we need to do something different, specifically kind of for the recreational / master type driver that, one, they can't afford to go break a rib. Two, they don't want to. So there's a whole number of variables that factored into it."
That's nice to hear that they're taking us old, fragile guys into account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how
it took an old, fragile guy to get the ball rolling.
I don't know how he convinced them to make the investment, but now they're paving the paddock, which is great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No more digging in gravel for drop bolts.
And it's harder to.
Oh, you just gotta do what the big teams do, Alex. You just get a big carpet, roll it out.
Ah, yes, that's a fair point. We did buy a tarp for that.
Yeah, but now you don't need to.
And
what else do you guys want to cover?
Are you ever gonna race again? You should come do 100cc Masters. You look like a 100cc Masters capable driver right there.
We're recruiting.
Yeah, I got this thing called an ego. And I still think if I had a month in a cart, I'd be competitive in senior. And when I say that to people, they just laugh. I wouldn't mind meeting you guys out there on a practice day just to see what kind of lap time I can turn. I think it would be a lot of fun. Out here, actually, it's been over a year since I think I raced. The last race I did was Thunder Hill. NCK Road Racing Thunder Hill in the 125 shifter. And then before that, it was not Prairie City. It was probably Davis or Dixon. I ran Briggs. But yeah, the 100cc class looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great group. And if there is a class, I think, to race where you just don't want to go against seniors and get just bumped off track, I mean, I think we're the great alternative. I think, to be honest.
It's funny. I went down from the 125 water cooled to 100cc because I had gone through shoulder surgeries and I wanted something that would be easier on me. At least I thought in the corners. But driving these 100cc's, I don't see a difference between them and 125. I feel like it's just as much effort. It feels just as good as the 125.
Do you reckon, Dan, it's actually even more because you get punished if you don't carry the speed in the little 100 air cooled, right? You can sort of hide a bit of that in the more powerful classes, right?
Yeah, I definitely think that's true as you go up into shifter. But I was just expecting all the corners to feel slower and to be less demanding on my body. And I'm just saying those things didn't actually come to fruition.
Hey guys, unfortunately I'm gonna have to go. I've got a son, a little man. It's bedtime. I gotta go and do the tuck in. But thanks for doing the show, Jason.
Oh, no problem. Kieran, thank you for joining us, and I'll do my best not to ruin your name.
That's okay. I'll catch you at the track next time, hopefully, and say hi.
All right, sounds good.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Two things, by the way. Speaking on that, Sherry, it's Sherry Kamiya, not Kamiya Sherry. And
is it on the registration wrong or no?
No.
I just say it backwards.
Yeah. And my last name's too complicated, so Alex is probably fine.
I thought you said she in your text.
Shay,
Oh, Shay.
but yeah. But Alex is fine, or just call him by the cart name. Blue Steel.
Blue Steel mechanic.
Yeah.
Trying to advertise
Let's see.
that
Speaking of
nickname, Blue
Sherry,
Steel.
let's see. She has a comment in here. Steve Peugeot. Steve and I actually just laugh how I butcher his name. Steve Peugeot, Pigot.
Is it Piggott?
What's that?
Is it Piggott?
Him and I have this conversation every time I see him. I say Peugeot because I want to add the French twist to it. He's fine with Piggott. Let's see. Steve Piggott, major respect for the kart parents. Doing it for the kids. Hope you get to treat yourselves to races too. Very cool. Let's see. What else we got?
So
That's all I got. It's past my bedtime too.
Yeah, Dan sleeps really early.
Dan sleeps really early.
Really early. If you don't get him before 9, you're not getting him till the next day.
He did tell me that the live stream was going live almost at his bedtime,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know if he was serious or joking.
Dead serious. Sometimes we have like karting emergency or questions. 9 o'clock is a hard cutoff for Dan.
That's the hard cutoff.
Yeah,
Hard cutoff.
We're getting
All
pretty
right.
close. Thanks for having me on the show, Jason, and to share a little bit about me and the class and everything. So, and thank you for everything
thank
that
you for
do
being my 100cc Sonoma liaison.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. We'll do our best to give you some fodder, and I hope you use it during the race. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, and for sure. And then my plan is for most of the races to go up early, like a day before, just to catch everybody, talk to people, try to build up the story for Sunday. The next race is going to be on a Friday, Saturday. So
yeah, you'll find Alex, myself, Sherry, and Kieran in the same area. We'll be neighbors, so stop by.
Very cool.
Rivera Racing.
What is it?
Rivera Racing.
Rivera Racing.
We got to find a name. That's placeholder at best.
All right, so a new contest. Name the 100cc Masters Group for Sonoma.
There you go. Let's do it.
What does the winner get? You guys have to throw out some kind of prize to them.
We'll think about it.
You'll think about it.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of, before you drop off, Dan, then I'll kick you off right after I do this quick little promo thing, so you can go sleep. But I missaid it the other day. If you're looking at my screen here, I have this thing that says 308 more needed. That is 308 more subscribers needed for our YouTube channel. So I said on the Instagram post last week, if we get 800 subscribers, I'll give away an NCK entry, because NCK gave me 2 entries to give away this year.
You're shaving your head.
What's that?
You're shaving your head.
I'll shave my head too, but after thinking about it, it's like, yeah, it's gimmicky, etc. But Kart Chaser also did that. It's like, well, I don't want to completely rip those guys off. And it really doesn't do anything to grow the sport if I shave my head. Now, if there's enough demand and they say, no, you said you're going to shave your head, yeah, I'll shave my head. I'm not using a razor though. I'll do a one blade or a
shave
half
the website into your head.
Do what?
Shave some kind of advertisement for the podcast into your head.
I'll do that. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, whatever the people say they want me to do with my hair, I'll do it. But so if we get to 700 subscribers, when we hit that, we will, and that probably next week, because we only need 8 more to get to 700. Then what I'm going to do is, NCK Road Racing gave me 2 entries to give away this year. I will request that the drivers that are running 100cc master tag, 125 master tag, or senior 100cc, if you ran any particular series, the full calendar events for 2002, your name will go to a drawing to win the NCK road racing entry. So that goes to sprint racers, road racers, etc. So again, when we hit 700 subscribers, that first NCK entry will be given away. And if you're a local club or a shop, etc., and you also want to do giveaways, let me know. I'd love to do a giveaway every single show and make it fun. So that's my little promo. You guys are back. Am I kicking you off, Dan?
It's bedtime. Thank you again.
Bedtime. All right. I'll let Alex wrap up the show since we ignored him at the beginning.
What? I have nothing. Like I said, 100cc Masters, Prairie City, it's a big deal to me because I'd love to see that series grow. I think that's my biggest thing. And obviously we have 2 strokes at Sonoma the week after, so it's going to be a lot of driving for everybody. And I didn't realize when I first got into karting with Sherry that there was so much karting in NorCal. There's so much karting that like you could go every day of every week and kart every day if you wanted to. My mind is blown by that.
We're absolutely spoiled. I'm working on. Let's see here. Where did it go? I need someone in the background doing all this stuff. Give me one second.
I thought the 308 was like the temperature that you needed your meat at, and I was going to make a comment that seemed a little high.
308?
Yeah, I was
I'm not making shoes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I hope he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, 308. 308 on my thing. That was for subscribers needed, not the meat temperature. Let's see here. Tracks. Boom. All the blue dots are tracks. And that's just Central and Northern California, Reno, and Medford. We have tracks and this is only sprint tracks. I don't have oval tracks on here yet. So that's the other thing I'm working on too, is if you have a local kart shop and you want to be on NorCal Karters, you want your map indicated on there, reach out to me. We'll put your kart shop on there, because right now Illuminos and Extra Kart Parts get a lot of attention, and Gorilla Barbecue, they get a lot of attention. Speaking of Gorilla Barbecue, I'm not trying to compete with you, Rich. I really ain't. But Rich has been a big supporter of NorCal Karters for the past couple of years. He's many people know the story. He was tied in with the original Track Magic group back from the 90s, and every year they've behind the scenes have sponsored drivers that kind of embody that Track Magic spirit. So yeah. We need to get Chihuahua Michael Ting. Did I say that? I didn't say that right either, did I?
I think that's right. Do you call him anything besides Michael Ting? Because I realize that I don't call him Mike or Michael. It's always Michael Ting.
I always call him Michael Ting.
Yeah, I think everybody calls him Michael Ting. No one calls him anything else.
Yeah. Well, he's just a Michael Ting.
He's a Michael Ting. He's not a Michael. He's not a Mike.
Yeah. But how would you say his first name though? Is it Shiwa or Chihuahua? Chihuahua?
Yeah, Chihuahua.
We'll have to get him on one of the next shows.
Alrighty, but yeah, thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, I keep pushing, but and we watch every day. So happy to, long time listener, first time caller. Yeah.
Well, we'll have you on again. We'll do some mid-season updates with the 100cc Masters group. I'm sure I'll see you at Prairie City quite a bit if you're heading up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Now you make me guys want to join that chat line just to beg and borrow to go drive your karts.
Get yourself in a cart and then you can race with us.
There you go.
And you can beat us all like you say that you will.
Oh, I didn't say I would beat you. I just said I have an ego problem, and my mind thinks I'm still 20.
You might
my body tells my mind is delusional. Actually, I did drive at the Track Magic Rally. I drove why? I'm gonna mispronounce his name too. Dalia. Dalia.
Oh yeah,
What? Will.
Will.
Yeah, I drove Will's cart at the Track Magic Rally at Prairie City, and I was actually pretty surprised that that was more tiring than the 4-stroke shifter cart we had out there. There's a lot
How'd
of
you
fun.
do?
What's that?
How'd you do?
Oh, I was slow. Yeah, it's like an outer body experience where your brain goes, oh yeah, you need to go up to the barrier, you need to be on the brakes there, and then you need to turn there. Like it just my outer body experience is like different. My body was here, but in reality, I was 30 feet too soon on the brakes. I was coasting into it. It's like everything I would tell someone not to do, I did. I overslowed going into the corner. So yeah, I did it. I was just slow.
That's the other thing I like about being a mechanic is it's easy to be really judgmental and criticize everybody else's driving. But now that I have to race, yeah, I'll have to do all the things that I criticize everybody for doing. I'm probably going to make every single one of those mistakes and look like a fool.
Honestly, we've said it many times over the years where, especially with the junior dads, it's if you're a junior dad on the fence yelling at your kid, it should be a requirement that you have to go out and go drive a cart for a couple sessions as well and let your kid yell at you. Like it really should be a requirement.
That's an interesting point. I guess Sherry's going to be yelling at me a lot.
Well, no, now you're a driver.
Yeah, well, she'll yell at me and I'll yell at her, and we'll just kind of we do yell at each other. We're in the carts chasing each other around the track. To be fair.
All right, I'm gonna get a hold of Jason, the video guy, and see if we can mic you guys up at the next race. All right. Well, do you have any closing words, Alex? No.
Nope. Prairie City Masters.
Do you guys have a Facebook group?
We don't. I guess we should. Wow.
Jason's ego is harder than 9 Series tires. I'm gonna pretend I don't understand the reference because I don't want to stir up a bunch of crap. But
we're not using the 9s anymore. It's okay.
Are you allowed to use the 9s or no?
Well, that's a good question, but I do know that we're not using them now. Like the last batch was not 9s.
The tire game. It never ends.
It might rain, and then we'll just be on rains.
That's right. I sell rain tires.
ExtraCarParts.com.
That's right. Very cool.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. And
no, thanks for tuning in, and everyone else, thanks for watching. And then, yeah, I'm gonna kick Alex off. I'll do my wrap up, and then we'll go from there. Oh, how many have shown interest in the PC 100cc Masters?
That's a good question. It sounds like it's more than we thought, based on what Donald said, but I'm really not too sure. I know for sure Sherry and I are doing it, and there's some other random people that have mentioned that they want to do it when we went to PC over the weekend. And we have another friend that's definitely going to do it if his motor gets back from P1. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's how you can wrap up your segment. When's the next race?
This coming weekend.
Where?
Prairie City.
Prairie City, 2-stroke weekend. You can find more information at norcalkarters.com or pckarting.com.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, Alex. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
All right. That was our open mic night, and we have the new background. I'm working on it. So I have some stuff on order. It should be here before the next broadcast. But thank you for everyone that tuned in, chimed away here in the comment section. And just as a recap, you can go to norcalkarters.com, click on the calendar tab. I'm still here. I just click on the calendar tab. Present. Let's see here. So click on the calendar tab. This is all the events going on in April. Actually, let me rephrase that. These are the events that I have. So if I am missing your event on Norcal Karters and you're a club, please send me the schedule so I can get them up there. The goal this year is to have all the clubs representing Norcal Karters to be on the calendar for this year. So if I'm missing your events or you've changed some dates because of weather, please let me know so we can get those adjusted online. But again, norcalkarters.com. And you'll notice also we have race kart experience and kart rentals. So if you click on those links, if you're new to karting or want to try karting out, we specialize in outdoor racing karts. So if you're tired of the indoor stuff and you want to go faster, have a lighter kart, have a real racing experience, go to norcalkarters.com, click on our calendar, click any of those kart experience tabs, fill out the form, and I will give you a call within 24 hours to schedule you in a kart experience. Let's see. We don't have any more comments there. We also have a list of tracks. Let's see. All of our podcasts, all the videos, tracks. Start karting now. Same thing. It's a form. If you're new to karting, you want to try it out, fill out the form. So really, Norcal Karters is a resource site. So go check it out. And let's see. 700 subscribers. When we hit 700 subscribers on YouTube, we will give away our first NCK entry. So we will do that as soon as we hit 700. And I have decided we will give it away based on if you were running the 100cc class, 125cc class being the tag classes, or the senior 100cc classes, and you participated at all the club races. I don't care what club it was. You just show me your MyLaps or race monitor of all your races that you entered for the 2022 season. Your name will go into a hat, and we will draw a winner for that NCK road racing entry. Give me 1 second here. We got other messages coming through. Let's see. That one not coming on, not coming on. All right. There you have it. So, like I like to wrap up all my shows, if we all get one person in karting, we'll double by next year. Have a great evening, everyone. Tune in maybe next week, maybe not next week, but at least in 2 weeks, for sure, we'll do another show. We got a couple of shows we're working on in the background, so those will be coming up as well. So just stay tuned, hit like, subscribe, and you will be notified of all of the upcoming shows. Thank you.